I love the cooler weather of autumn because it means cozying up with a warm blanket and a hot drink. But it also means that winter is coming, and that means I need to do some planning and preparation. In this video, I'm going to show you what I do to stay warm in my tiny home on wheels. Clothing is key. There is probably nothing as important as regulating your own body temperature when the temperatures start to drop. So what I like to do is have enough of the things that keep me warm and dry when it's cold. And I always figure the best people to give you advice about that are people that do winter sports or outside climbing or hiking in the wintertime. And so I did some research and watched a lot of videos about how people who are outdoor sports enthusiasts in the winter stay warm. So I have made my adaptations from what I saw for them that work for me, and hopefully it'll be useful to you too. One of the things is a great base layer. I just use Cuddle Duds. They're a great brand. They're a little pricey, but they're worth it. I get a couple and they last me all winter long. I just rotate through them, and they've got them in different styles, and they've got them from different warmth levels. So right now I just have their warm layer, which is, I don't know if you can see, a little bit thinner, but it works as a great base layer, and that way you can just pile on some layers and feel good. So I have the Cuddle Dud tops, long sleeve tops, and the pants that come along with it. But also I am trying this brand. It's called Warmex Tech, and it's a little bit thicker. Still, it's made from, I think, soft polyester and spandex. A lot of these are made from spandex and some type of blend. It's a little thicker than what I've got on, and it has a flannel inside. So Cuddle Duds also has the next layer of warmth up from what I'm wearing, that also has the layers in it of whatever this is, like a soft fleece or what they say soft polyester blend. So that also fits really well, and you can layer things on top of it. So other people use just long johns. I tend not to like long johns because they're not breathable and they get bulky underneath, and I feel like my clothes start feeling tight. So these I like because they're stretchy, and I have them in the pants and in this layer. And so then I can use these pants underneath all my other pants. But in my video last year, I had shown you that I borrowed a pair of ski pants when I was going in like below freezing temperatures, and those worked really well, the snow pants. But it was also very bulky. So this year, I decided to try something new. These are just parachute pants, hiking pants, very thin layer as well, but I can just layer them on top of my base layer and they will keep me dry, and I figure this little layer keeps me also warm. But you can see that you can wear it, and they're baggy enough that you can put a base layer under them. Wool is also very good to wear. That's why merino wool is getting so popular, because it really is moisture wicking and it keeps you the driest the longest. Like cotton can tend to hold moisture if you sweat or anything like that. So I have a few undergarments of merino wool. They're very warm, they're very comfortable, but merino wool is really, really expensive. So I just have one top and one bottom. So I usually get a good pair of all wool socks and switch out between them as well. And they're very warm, they're very soft, they're a little bit thick, so you have to make sure that your shoes allow for that. And then this year I decided to try something new, which are these. They kept popping up in my Amazon feed, and I'll leave, of course, the description below doesn't really say the brand name anywhere. I think they're an off-brand of the kinds of things that I was looking for. But they're basically have the warm fuzzies inside, but they're an indoor-outdoor boot, which is what I was looking for. This can get wet. It's that material that it will keep you dry in rainy conditions or snowy conditions. And I like it because I can also wear them inside. Even though the sole is weatherized so that you can use it outdoors, it's soft enough and squishy enough like that so that inside you can wear them even without socks, and it keeps your feet nice and warm. So I was really looking for a pair that I could just slip on. In the summer, I usually have slides like this that I am a dork and use them with socks. I don't care. They're nice to just be able to slip outside quickly if you need to and just not feel like you have to put on boots or shoes. But for the winter, I really wanted a pair that I could do that, and that would, like, usually I have winter boots that are fuzzy on the outside, and so I don't like getting them wet. But these, they dry really fast, and they don't get anything on them because of the way that they're made. So I really like these, and they keep me nice and cozy warm. And lastly, in the clothing category, but certainly not least, because it is very important when it comes to regulating your body temperature, is what you wear on your head. I have several beanies from different people. Lost Renegades, Bunny, Kathy gave me some hats that I wear, and those are great for when I'm outside or if I'm out by a campfire or something like that. But one of the issues that I was having if I tried to sleep with them is that they just fall off of my head. So to solve that problem, I found this little thing, and I'm sure you have all seen them before, but I never knew this existed. What it is you just put this on. It's a hoodie. It's like a Dickie hoodie. That sounds terrible, but that's what this is. And you just put it over your head, and it stays on your head, and it has this little mask that you can actually breathe, and it'll keep your nose and face warm, but it doesn't come up tight to your skin. So I have tried in the past, ski masks, but it presses against your face, and then you feel like it just gets moist around your nose and your mouth because you're breathing. But this, it's made out of like a felt fabric, and it's like having a blanket around your head, but you see there's room. So it keeps this whole area around your eyes and your nose open but warm, like it just keeps the warmth circulating, kind of like if you had a sleeping bag up around your face like this. And you can even do that, but I don't like to have it that closed up because I feel like I can't breathe. But this is good for outdoors, but mainly I use it for sleeping. I'll see, you might see me wearing this around a lot more, because the other thing that is good about it is this. It acts as a scarf. So really, when you have your little hoodie down, it just looks like you're wearing a cozy sweater. And I kind of like that, right? It just is cozy around your neck, and it doesn't feel too much. Just like having a nice scarf that you don't have to worry about rolling around. So I like that. And you can wear it around without a coat on or with a coat on. So this thing is rocking it for me. I really like it. Tip number 2, blankets. It is always important to have blankets in the winter, especially because temperatures can drop really, really swiftly. What I do, again, is have plenty of wool blankets. I know there are lots of down and alternative down. I do have my one alternative down that I use actually for the warmer weather. I like that it's cozy and cool. But for winter, nothing beats wool to keep you warm. In the Altiplano, in Bolivia and Peru, you see people using wool and it is so warm. This is a poncho, but I use it as a blanket. It is made from alpaca wool. Very, very warm, a little softer than regular wool would be. It can get a little scratchy. What I do is I put a more comfy fleece blanket near my skin and then layer on wool on top of me and on the bottom pad. So I'll lay out my bed and then have this as the base layer. And then I have a couple army wool blankets that are stored in my pillows. The first layer is my voided blanket, pillow blanket, that you all know and love. So my first, what goes against my skin is this, because it is that nice Sherpa, very soft. This has gotten a lot of use. I've had it for about 3 years, so it is on its, in terms of having a little bit of stuff gathering on it, but this just folds into itself. It zips up. I'm sure you have seen this before, and I absolutely love it. So I put this next to my skin. The other side is just like a sleeping bag, and I usually don't like that on my skin, but then I will layer wool blankets on top of me. So on the bottom of me and then on the top of me. And actually this is very good because I don't need to use sheets. This can just be thrown in the wash and washed, but it is a lot more convenient than having to take on and take off sheets, and it is moisture wicking again, so it doesn't keep just moisture around you like cotton would. So wool, I highly recommend for van life for all sorts of reasons, but especially in the winter. Yeah, and then these just fold in to themselves as well, and I keep those just stored over here. Also with blankets, one thing that I used to have and gave away, I even did a video on what I didn't need anymore, was a 12-volt electric blanket. And after, and that video I made a couple years ago, and it was really because at that time I was chasing warmer weather. I wasn't trying to see how much I could stay in the cooler climates when it got cold outside. So it really wasn't something that I needed. And I have rethought that. I've talked to a lot of people about what electric blankets they use. And so I decided to retry the whole electric blanket thing. The other reason that I wasn't quite convinced that I wanted a 12-volt electric blanket or an electric blanket was that I felt like it drained my power station a lot. And you know, I have a very small one, 500 watt, and it wouldn't drain it completely, but it would drain it enough that I was just like, is it worth it? And I probably got the wrong electric blanket to begin with, because I had to turn it on and off all the time. It kept powering down, and I think they do generally after 45 minutes or so. So it just seemed like it wasn't worth it to me at the time. But I have reconsidered that, and I thought maybe I'll just have a few things on hand. One of the things, and it's kind of funny, I got it, I thought I was getting something else, but this is a little medium multi-purpose pad. And as you see, it's very small. Like this is the box. It folds out to, and I read, it said 12 by 16 or something like that. And in my head, 12 by 16 was bigger, but this is what it looks like. Looks like maybe for a mouse blanket or a cat blanket, but what it really is a pad, and it's not a 12 volt, it is a USB pad. So I did decide to try this out because I thought, like, if I'm sitting down and I just want something maybe like around my waist or on my rear end to keep heat radiating, like if I'm doing something inside, I thought that this would be, it's not bulky, obviously it just folds into this little bag. So it was an interesting alternative for me to try out. I tried it a couple times already. It doesn't suck any power hardly at all. I just plug it in when I'm doing work with my computer, and it's just a nice little hot pad. I mean, this is really more what it is a hot pad, like if you have a sore muscle, a sore neck or something, but it does generate enough heat that when you're just inside, like I can be in a base layer, have this on, and it can get down to the 30s, 40s, and I don't feel like I have to have a heavy coat on or something like that. So it's for the convenience of it being small. You know, I'll let you know how long it lasts. It may not last me very long, but it just really has one little button that controls it here. And you can even use this with a little power source, like a battery pack. And I have one of those somewhere tucked away that I used to use for when I was traveling with my computer or trying to recharge a cell phone. It's just a little battery pack. So that's what I liked about this, the convenience of it being able to be used with a battery pack as well as being able to be plugged into my power station. So I'll let you know, this is not tried or true yet, but it was something to consider. I did order another electric blanket, but it did not arrive on time. If by the time I'm editing this, it comes, I can maybe do a quick blurb, or I'll at least put it in the description so that you can see that, and I'll review it another time. But I know a lot of people who use them. When I am plugged into shore power, obviously it's no problem at all. So that, take it for whatever it's worth. I still prefer simplicity. I still prefer going as moderately low tech as you can and then building from there. But different strokes for different folks. And if you like electric blankets, I did try to find one that came with its own battery pack, but it was quite expensive and it didn't seem worth it to me. So I did find one that it's a bigger blanket that's USB operated. So I thought that that would be good for my little power station and for my other battery packs that I have. Of course, my tried and trusty true friend, my water bottle. Nothing actually to me compares to this. Just heat up hot water. This lasts the whole night. It stays inside under the blankets with you. And I have had the best luck with just having this keep me warm. And I'm not afraid of it burning me because it has this little sweater, and I have my base layers on usually if it's really cold enough to have to use this. And so I can just, cuddle up and be warm with this. So I should just put a little face on it or something. Isn't it cute? I don't know. I love this thing. Hand warmers are another tip. Bunny really turned me on to the use of hand warmers, and it is really interesting how effective it can be. I had highlighted this in my winter gifts video a while back. It is a USB rechargeable hand warmer. You really only need one. You could get several, but I've only ever had the one, and you just hold it in your pocket or just have it near you to keep warm, and they really work well. But as with everything, I prefer really low-tech solutions. And this brand, I had gotten another brand and I didn't like it, but then again, Bunny said, use these. Hot hands, hand warmers, you see them all the time. People use them to stay warm at football games and just outside events. And they work wonders. They stay warm for 10 hours. And you just have to be careful that you don't put them next to skin that isn't covered, because I know that Bunny got injured once trying that, and I think it was just because it was somewhere where it was really pushing against her skin. But for the most part, you can have these in your pockets, around your hands, and just stay warm. You can put them, like as they start getting a little bit cooler, I as well just maybe put them near my arms here and keeps me warm, because wherever you can put it so that it keeps your blood warm and flowing through your body, it works, and they last for a long time. So if you don't mind having these packs around, and for just those occasions where you need to be a little bit warmer, you can be outdoors with these and they work great. Indoors with these, they work great. So I love these. I also still have my little trusty NOGGLE. I have it running under my passenger area now where I have the box built, so it can just run under there. It keeps me warm. I'll turn on my van for 5 or 10 minutes when I'm getting ready for bed, and then turn it off, and all that heat just stays trapped in, and I feel nice and warm. And for me, I felt like that works best. I have looked into diesel heaters. I know a lot of you have commented on, why don't you get a Mr. Buddy propane heater? Or why don't you get a diesel heater? I think you overestimate the size of my space. It's really like a car, a little higher than a car, like an SUV. And so it really doesn't take a lot to heat up this space or cool it down in the summer. So I feel like, and I have talked to people who have diesel heaters in tiny spaces like this, and I think it just overwhelms the space with heat. So for me, it isn't that inconvenient to just every couple hours or so turn on the heat and let it warm up. It may be stupid, I don't know, but to me it works. I don't have big propane tanks in my van. I have tried to stay away from that. I use butane in those little canisters, and for me that works well. I feel, I guess, safer that way. And I have looked into ceramic heaters, but again, that draws on electricity, and I really didn't want to have to deal with that draining my battery or anything. So I just turn on my van. I might go around a little bit just to look at things and see what I want to do for the day, and that keeps me nice and warm. Again, I'm not trying to survive in freezing cold temperatures, below freezing temperatures. That would be crazy to do in a space like this. I am not equipped for it, nor do I need to be equipped for it. And so these are tips just for those occasional times when I happen to be in inclement weather, or that I'm wanting now to try to see how can I extend the period of time that I am in the Midwest when I'm in the Midwest, because I used to just go with the weather and try to get out of the cold. And I do have a lot of friends and family in the Midwest. And of course, when I am visiting family, I am in a house, and friends often in the winter obviously are going to invite me inside their house and stay. And like I said, last year I tried to challenge myself and stay around in really cold weather, but now I'm just trying to extend it into the fall, because I love the fall. I mean, look at it. Today it's 60 degrees out and beautiful. I can be in the van and it's perfect. I am not cold at all. The sun coming down and through it just warms it up to a beautiful temperature inside here. I think being in the sun, I am actually warmer in here, 70 degrees. Haven't had the heat on, and it's only like 57, 60 degrees outside. So this is perfect weather to me. And in the evening, again, it maybe cools down to high 30s, low 40s, something like that, but it is doable. And that's all I wanted to try to figure out. And these are my best tips for that. So I hope these ideas on how I stay warm give you some ideas about staying warm this winter. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.